the first thing. A lot of us have had no choice in these 15 people that have come on board. We had little or no choice because we were not part of the parties. We're not part of the critical decision-making factor of the parties. We're not involved in how these people were chosen. They have been chosen in parties, big and small, and they've now been presented to us. So we are all starting from a left foot immediately. We had no choice in the people. They have been presented to us. We are saddled with them, and we now have to choose one out of 15. So if ab initio we have 15 bad or 15 not so good people, then we already have a challenge from day one. And if we witness some of the primaries that brought in these people, some of the primaries were flawed. A lot of vote buying is reputed. A lot of people were buying votes. A lot of delegates were being paid, being sponsored, being quartered in hotels, being kept there and made to vote in a certain way and in another certain way. So we already have that problem. Some of the other parties was just a sole candidate. The main sponsor of the party made himself the sole candidate and put himself there. In other parties, a few people locked themselves in a room and then they decided who they wanted. You can say that is democracy, but the truth of the matter is that very, very few people were involved in presenting to us the options that we had. Some of the people we'd never, ever heard of before, some of them till tomorrow, you don't know what their qualifications are, you don't know what their CV is, you don't know who they really are, you don't have any character reference on them, and you have no basis or even evaluating their competence, have not been known before. So this is the situation where we already find ourselves. So the challenge is, how can we choose the right leader when already we may, I'm not saying we may have been saddled with a bunch of people whose backgrounds and pedigrees we do not know. And if we do not know if any one of them is actually the right person to lead Nigeria at this very critical times. And a few of them also, they have not been tried, they've not been tested, their skills are not known, and nobody really can say. And what is also burdensome is that a lot of the campaigning that we've seen thus far, although it's not yet been permitted, but a lot of the conversations we've heard, very few of them have actually been issues-based. People have come in with statements like, I've been in this race for a long time. People have come in to say that, well, I've sacrificed a lot. People have come in to say, I have a lot of money. People have come in to say, my people are behind me. People have come to say that I am of this particular tribe or religion or persuasion or even professional calling. So we have quite a lot of people who have come into the race and you don't know what their pedigree, what their backgrounds, and also what their intentions, vision, and party manifestation or manifesto is. So again, we are faced with that challenge. We are faced with that challenge. Also, nations that have advanced in the world have usually advanced on the fly of a very strong and committed and capable leadership. My observation and my thinking about Nigeria, and you may correct me if I'm wrong, is that Nigeria has maybe three critical things that are affecting it. Number one, a very, very poor foundation, and a forceful amalgamation together of several tribes and races, a lot of who had really no intention, no willingness, and no business coming together ab initio, or no very few commonalities forced together by colonial masters who had their own intentions and their own desires and their own motive for bringing these people together. Okay. The second is that Nigeria has not been fortunate, or Nigeria has not been deliberate in choosing who its leaders are, not been fortunate in deliberately looking for those who we think have the right qualities and capabilities to lead this nation, starting from Tafawa Balewa in 1953, when we started having self-rule, or 1951, thereabouts, self-rule. Very few people knew so much about him in those days. The Macaulays, the Nnamdi Azikiwes, and so on and so forth, somehow were not in the fore. Even the Awolowos were not there. But this man, who had been working with the Sultana of Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello, was thrust in as Prime Minister of Nigeria. Well, things went okay at that time. A lot of British influence was still there. Became Prime Minister in 1960 and was Prime Minister until 1966, when we had the first coup in Nigeria. The first coup produced a man from the barracks, General Agui Ronsi, better trained as a soldier and a defender of our nation rather than a statesman, a politician, or even a political leader. He was shortly overtaken, or replaced by another coup that now brought in a young 31, 32-year-old army officer, Lieutenant Colonel Yakubu Gowon. Young. You must note that he was young, fresh out of school, more or less, commissioned into the army, soldier upcoming, number 7 or number 20 in the army at that time, or around that time, suddenly became our head of state. Again, not very much experience, not very much track record, had not been proven. But he was fortunate to be surrounded by a plethora of experienced public and civil servants who we hear he listened to their advice and was able to drive Nigeria along. Again, on this platform, we're going to do an analysis of the leadership of each one of our leaders, where they met Nigeria, what they did, where they left Nigeria, and where, if we are able, they could have left Nigeria. That's another analysis we'll be doing on the platform. After him, Murtala Mohammed, in a coup, also was there for 6 months. Then he was replaced by Olusegun Obasanjo after another coup. Again, you must understand that most of these officers were between the ages of 38 and maybe 44 at this time, 38 and 44 at this time. Most of them had been fighting the war, had been in the barracks, and so on and so forth. And here they have leadership and leadership command. Obasanjo handed over to Shehu Shagari, and then Shehu Shagari was overtaken in a coup, handed to this same Buhari, also a young officer at the time. Buhari, again, another coup, Babangida. Babangida, a house coup, Shonekon, he had to step aside, and then Abacha. Abacha, again, the 5 leprous sons of Abacha died in office. Abubakar came in. General Abubakar, okay, Abdusalam Abubakar, and then he handed over to Olusegun Obasanjo. Olusegun Obasanjo to to Yaradua Jr., Yaradua Jr. to Goodluck Jonathan to, again, Buhari. And this is where we are at this time, a straining economy. What do we need to do in 2023 to make sure that we can leapfrog and we can pick up our pieces? There are certain things that are critical, as far as I'm concerned, in choosing the right leader. There are certain things that are very, very critical in choosing the right leader. The leader that you must choose for our nation must, number one, be a person of great vision, be a person of great vision, must be visionary, must know exactly where they're going to take Nigeria to. Number two, their integrity must be proven. their integrity must be proven. They must be people of proven integrity. Number 3, they must have confidence, capacity. I was talking to a former governor the other day, and he was complaining as to how very poorly his state had now done. And I said, what happened? He said, unfortunately, a lot of people who succeeded me simply had no capacity. Confidence, fortitude, motivation, capacity. Number 4, flexibility. A team player understands the lay of the land and the give and take of politics in Nigeria. Number 5, accessible. A leader that you can converse with, that you can speak with, that will be accessible to his people. Discipline. You want a leader that's very, very disciplined, very, very humble, very, very approachable. And then intellectual capacity and sagacity. A leader that has intellectual capacity is able to put things together and knows where it's going. And then number 7 or number 8, he understands the requirements of the office. He understands the requirements of the office. At the African Leadership Group, we have done a scoring initiative, and we've done also a selection pool. I'll be very happy right now to hand over to Sonny Enebi, my co-presenter, to introduce the ALG subcommittee that has been working on this, and then further expatiate on these qualities of a good leader that I have spoken about, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you very much. Sonny?
Thank you very much, Pastor. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this very important session. I think Pastor has spoken a lot about the trajectory of leadership we've had from the beginning. Just before I call the committee to give us a snippet of what we have been working on behind the scene on how to aid us to choose the right kind of leader as we go into 2023 election. It's important to note that at ALG, part of our mission and vision is to ensure that the right candidates are selected, starting from the leadership recruitment process, even in the party. We may have missed the ability to influence the party when they were choosing their candidates, because they chose not based entirely on competence and all of that, but for whatever reasons. But we still have an opportunity to choose the right leader come 2023. And we are going to have a robust conversation on this platform. Some of you may have some ideas that you may want to banter when the committee presents what they want to present. If you have input, please be ready, because the goal essentially is to make sure that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. We don't vote along lines that are not going to help advance the cause of the ordinary Nigerian in this country. So it's very important that we take note. You must vote on basic standard criteria of things that can help us move this nation forward. So we have essentially, we have various committees, and many of you have volunteered to work in various committees under the ALG. And we'll be engaging all the various committees soon to get the work off the ground. But for today, we have 2 committees that have been working behind the scene, and they're going to make their presentation, and we'll have the opportunity to interrogate what they are giving to us and see how we can use it in the 2023 election. And that's the committee that have worked on the polling for leadership scoring criteria. How do you score the leaders? What are the criteria that you use to judge? You can use score each of the leaders and see where they stand and stack up to make that choice. And we have very erudite members that have worked on that committee. We have Dr. Benson John. We have Lara, who is a member of that committee. We also have Ade Jumoke. We have Shade. All of these people have worked on that committee. So I'll be calling, I think Jumoke will be making the presentation on behalf of the committee. If you are not, Lara and Dr. Benson said they will be joining later. What are they going to be presenting? Leadership scoring criteria. How do you score leaders? What are some of the criteria that you use to determine who you should vote for? That's what they will present, but they will explain that more. So I hand over now to Jumoke to lead.
Maybe before Jumoke speaks, I just wanted to button that what we are now faced with is a choice between 15. Whether this will now be the best of the best for Nigeria is left to us to examine and determine and review if we're able to score them properly. Like I said, we initially didn't get in on time. Then the third problem in Nigeria, I said the first is the foundation the colonial masters left. The second is the leadership that we have not been blessed with, which we have a right to choose. But the third and the most fundamental problem with Nigeria is a largely weak, uninformed, poorly educated, poorly exposed, lack of knowledge electorate. A lot of the people who are going to be taking voter decisions in Nigeria have no idea what they should be looking for in a leader. And that is why we've gone the way to make this scoring criteria for people, so that part of what we can do from this platform is to spread the gospel, spread the message, especially to the largely uninformed and uneducated electorate. A lot of them don't know who to vote for. A lot of them vote on persuasion, a loaf of bread, some money here and there, instruction by some Baba Saleh who was their champion, somebody's photo that they saw, somebody who they heard, somebody who did them a favor many, many years ago, regardless of whether he has the competence to lead or not. And this is one of the biggest challenges. Nigerians don't know their rights. They're not able to speak up when they need to speak up. They are very, very challenged in terms of knowledge, and therefore it's going to be difficult for them to take the right decision. So part of what we're also going to try and look at on this platform is, how do we get this message across? How do we communicate? How do we ensure that Nigerians can take an appropriate decision in choosing who their leader is? We must have a strategy to rapidly educate and inform almost 80 to 90 million Nigerians who will be going to the polls in March. They must be informed to know who to vote for. We're not going to be looking anymore on ethnic basis. We're not looking again on part of the country you came from. We're not looking again as to whether you are Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, Yobe, or whatever, or Kanuri or whatever. We're not looking at whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, you're an idol worshiper. We need to look at the proper requirements that will give us the leadership that we need. Thank you very much. Sorry to butt in. Jumoke, please take it over.
Good evening, everyone. And at the risk of repeating some of what Pastor Ituah and Pastor Sonny has said, I'm just going to go straight into the scoring guide, and what we also call an assessment tool. It is an assessment tool to help you evaluate your candidates, and we classify them into 9 categories based on age, education, national recognition, their manifesto, public office experience, their performance record, their entrepreneurial experience, their entrepreneurial record, international experience and exposure, integrity, morality, corruption record, and then do they demonstrate compassion? What is their marital status? Do they have knowledge of the issues, and do they understand the requirements of the office? So the way, and I'll take you through that. We'll have a short exercise for us to go through the scoring criteria itself. Now, in the first category, which we call general, we have age, education, and national recognition. And the age are in different ranges. We have 40 to 54, and we assign a certain point to them. 55 to 64 has a point, and so on and so forth in ascending order. And then the qualification with that is like the higher age group may tend to signify experience and wisdom, but you could offset that by poor health and inability to function in high stress political environment. So we put all those into consideration before we started assigning points to the age group. We thought age 55 to 64 was the optimal age, which you expect life and political experience that can bring to a high stress position, and that value begin to decline as you age. That was again, these are subjective, and we explain it in the scoring criteria. Now, the education, we put them in different categories, whether it's primary certificate, secondary certificate, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and a professional degree. And the thought behind that is higher level education may give you idea of someone's ability to process complex ideas. And it's not necessarily a given. We know that a lower degree could also, coupled with strong public office and life experience, may also make someone a very strong candidate. We added bonus points for professional degree because of the rigor of those degrees. For example, medicine, law, architecture, engineering, they do tend to spend longer time in school. And then the national recognition, how recognized are these candidates? Are they regional? Are they only in like one region or in all the regions of Nigeria? Then we also assign points to their national recognition. So it's if a candidate is just like in one region and it's not across all the regions of Nigeria, then we score them. We gave 0 points for no recognition at all. If you ask someone, do you know who Jumoke is? And no one knows who Jumoke is, then it's 0 points, as opposed to someone like Pastor Ituah that is known in all the regions, then that's 5 points. Then the second set is knowledge and political experience. Then we looked at the manifesto. What is their recovery? What is their recovery plan? We know where Nigeria is right now. So it can't just be business as usual. We need someone that's going to come in and be able to deal with the issues that we have. How do we recover from where we are right now? So we looked at that. Is their plan comprehensive or is it skeletal? If it's skeletal, then it's 2 points. If it's comprehensive, then it's maximum points of 5. Then there is also an economic plan. What does their economic plan say? You assess that. Yes.
Sorry, they say, is it possible to share the slides? Some people are asking.
We don't have those slides, but we would go through it when it's time to go through the scoring, when we're doing this, the scoring test itself.
Okay.
So we just have the document that we prepared, but it's not in slides.
Okay, all right, thank you, go ahead.
Okay, but we can put it in slides and share it. But when we do the scoring exercise, then it's the same information. I'm just going through the thought that we put in these different categories. So we look at addressing insecurity as well. What is their plan for addressing insecurity? What is their plan for reconciliation and unification of the country? We are very divided right now. What is their public office experience? Do they have a strong track record in the public office? Have they served in government before? What is their performance record during that service? What did they accomplish while they were there? Are these records verified? It's not just, oh, I was in office, but can we verify these records? Then we move into another component, which is global and business exposure. We are in a different world now, and it's a global village that we are operating in. What is their experience as entrepreneurs? What is their record? What is their international experience? How have they managed their own business or other large enterprises? Because they may not be in government, but they've managed businesses, multinational corporations. Have they been successful in managing those businesses? And do they have the record to prove it? And what is their level of exposure with international audience? Have they engaged on any international platform? Have they spoken? Have they been a part of any global, whether working group or committee? So those are some of the criteria that we put in as international exposure. Then values, we talked about the values, their integrity, morality, and corruption. What is their history? Do they have criminal record on other charges? In some countries, if you have felony or if you have criminal records, you're automatically excluded from vying for the highest office in the land. So do they have history of corruption in office? What do they have good reputation? And even those associates that are close to them, what is their record? You begin to look at those that are close to them as well. And do they demonstrate compassion? Are they involved in charitable organizations? Have they provided scholarship assistance? Are they building their community and their environment that they live in? That also is something that we feel it's important to look at, because that's an indicator of demonstrating compassion. What is their marital status? I know some people think having 10 wives is a sign of wealth, but how busy are you going to be if you have 10 wives? Are they devoted or committed to a one man, one woman, or whatever their spouse is? Are they responsible parent? Those are all part of things that we consider value. So that's just the 9 dimensions. We call it 9 dimensions that we put together, and each has different components. So we will go through a scoring exercise. I know I went through that very quickly because I didn't want to take time, because we'll do this again when we go through the scoring, exercise. But that is a brief overview of the thought process that went into this assessment tool. And again, it's for you to really, for us as citizens, before we cast our vote, to really look at what who we are casting our vote for, and just make sure that they do demonstrate the qualities that are important to us. I think that's all. I don't know if there are any questions.
Thank you very much, Jumoke. If people have questions, I think we can take it. Pastor, do we take questions or do we take the whole presentation first?
I think we should take the whole presentation first.
Okay.
So if we can, it'd be nice to show that leadership assessment criteria so that people can see if that's, we can project that. And then the qualities of a good leader that we put together. I think John did that, if they can see that. And then we need to then start to look at how we're going to encourage people to do this scoring and this visualization of the leaders that we have. And then we can then begin to take questions. So for example, we can go through the whole list of leaders, okay? We don't have the backgrounds to all of them, but this one can do a quick pull-up. Adewale Adebayo, what's his quick background? He's a lawyer, is this, is that. Atiku Abubakar, quick background. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, quick background, and so on and so forth. And then we can then take some questions and answers and comments from the floor. And then we would have done justice to this particular thing. And then we can then decide whether we want to, on the platform, do an analysis of each of the candidates at some other future stage, or get people to do an analysis of each of the candidates so that people can actually analyze them and get what the analysis is. I don't know. We can think of that, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. So just a point of information also, this is an initial document. It's work in progress, and we're introducing it, and we feel it's important to also get the electorate's comments, and we would have a final draft that we would issue. So it is work in progress. Just wanted to put that out there. So I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if everyone can see it. This is the document that we put together, and again, the 7 qualities of a good leader. Of course, there are more qualities, but we condensed it into these 7 components. And at some point, we can share this document once it's ready to be issued.
Just
Pastor.
scroll through it. I think you are scrolling up. People are just sort of taking it in, yeah?
So I'm going to start from the 7 qualities of the leader here and the different, how we describe what a visionary leader is.
I think you can just read through those things so that people can.
Pastor did in his opening statement. He read through. He described all this. So going to the areas, the assessment criteria that I was talking about. This is the general, the age. I think that this is important. How we put the points, the age range and the points, the education level and the points, and then the national recognition and the points. And then the knowledge and political history, again, the manifesto, public office experience, performance record, and then we give a brief description at the bottom of each on the thought process that went behind that. And then this is another one, global and business exposure. I ran us through it. And then the values, which is the last set.
Okay, great. Jumoke, will that be all from your side?
That's all from our side. And I believe you posted the link to the Google form in the chat room.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. So the link is there. People can see what the poll looks like. But we would open the floor soon for engagement and conversation. These are by no means all the criteria that you consider in choosing your leader, but at least it's a reasonable guide, and we'll be sharing more in that space. I can see that Adewale Adebayo, presidential candidate of the SDP, is having his hands up. He wants to ask a question. We will get to questions and answer, but I would like Temitope, if you're on the platform, she wants to share the CSC. They have their own make also another subcommittee that have done some work and would like to share. Is Temitope there? Just raise your hand so that we can unmute you. If you raise your hand, we can see. Temitope? Okay, great. Okay, so we can unmute. So you can unmute now and then share a bit of what your committee have done. Then we can open the floor up for engagement from everyone.
Okay. I was just wondering, I hope it's not going to conflict. Did you want to do one or the other?
Okay. I don't understand. What did you say?
I mean, after this presentation, to take questions regarding this presentation.
Okay, so we finish with this so people don't get it mixed up.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, I think it's better like that. It's better like that. Pastor. So thank you everyone for staying tuned. I'm sure you are beginning to get some idea that in 2023, we don't just want to vote based on improper criteria. We would like to take some input from what you have heard. What do you think? Is it something that will work? What do you think we can make to make it better? I will take Adewale, His Excellency, the presidential candidate of SDP. You'll have the first shot to go. So we'll unmute you so you can ask or make your contribution. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Pastor Ituah and Pastor Sonny and everyone. I greet you. This is actually one of the members of the campaign organizations of Prince Adewale Adebayo. Ade Alabi is my name, a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. Yes, thank you, sir. I just want to add this and as a suggestion, knowing fully well that our educational sector is in shambles, our health sector is in shambles, can we also look at including this parameter of leadership assessment of how many of these our candidates have their children schooling here in Nigeria, and how many of them still goes abroad for their medical checkups and the rest. So these two key factors, I want us, the panel, to include it in the assessment parameters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, education and health.
Yes.
All right, the committee will speak to that. Olufunke O. Thank you very much, Adialago.
Good evening, everyone. I liken this process to you're picking a candidate for a job, and definitely you want the best candidate. I don't know if we can now specify these are the key competences that this candidate must have. And it is, I'm going to say some other ones, okay, nice to have. And then we give like the percentage, because I'm not sure if we would have a candidate that would meet all this criteria that we have said. Okay, if you can meet 80%, you're good to go. My suggestion.
All right, taken. I'm sure the committee is noting that down. We would see.
Can we call on Pastor Eneda from Georgia? He also has some comments.
Okay.
Pastor Eneda, you have the floor. Thank you for joining.
He has to raise his hand so we can see him and unmute him.
It needs to raise his hand so that we can unmute him.
Pastor Eneda, can you raise your hand?
Okay, unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Sorry, I raised up my hand to also make comment. I'm not pastor. I'm not a pastor. I'm Dr. Jones. Sorry.
Okay,
I have a different question.
Yeah, Pastor Eneda has unmuted himself. Go ahead, Pastor Eneda.
All right, thanks to everyone here. I appreciate. I'm Stephen Enada. So Pastor Ituah is good for putting all of this together with your team. I listened to ALG metrics that we can measure each candidate, but I just want to maybe play some devil advocate here. And what that means is that when it comes to national reorientation and reformation that will cascade into maybe winning an election for Nigerians, not for an individual. Now, are we really canvassing for systemic change or temporary result as it regards to 2023? Because yes, I'm heavily involved in politics here, and I know what it means to actually change people's mindset. Now, is ALG going to work with other civil society organizations to distill? This is, I look at this ALG metrics as an ecumenical project. So now how do we engage people from local government to local government and other civil society organizations who buy into this? Because these politicians, they don't really care about everything we are talking, but when they will care is when they see us, all of us across Nigeria talking about this. So I'm very realistic and pragmatic here because I'm involved in making sure Nigeria becomes a nation that all of us will be proud of. So please, these metrics and all these are good. But now I'm asking this simple question: how pragmatic? How can we accomplish this within this time frame? So for me now, I don't want to dwell on this metric that is absolutely superior to everything I'm thinking and to this team who have who has put this together. So now the question now is that I want to see how I'll take this to where I have influence in Nigeria and say, okay, this is what we are thinking, and other civil society organizations will connect. Because, sir, that is what I want to put here. And with Nigeria country profile that Pastor Ituah has actually clearly stated, you have ethnic, religious, every other problem. So I'm just looking at taking this out of this place and begin to create town hall meetings so that Nigerians who are not intellectually capable will understand this in their own language, because they are suffering, they are dying, poverty. Thank you for this. That is just my own contribution now. God bless.
Thank you, Pastor Inada. The committee will respond and will have opportunity to speak. I thought Dr. Larry had raised up his hand. He wanted to make a comment before Pastor Inada made his comment. But Pastor Inada, I mean, what you have said is very germane. Dr. Larry, you can raise up your hand again so that we can unmute you. I think okay, thank you, you are muted.
Yes,
So
thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Jones. I'm from the University of Sunderland in London. I also a leadership coach and also a leadership lecturer. But I really like the African Leadership Group. I just need to, I'm joining from the UK, but I want to, and I'm sure majority of you are also in the UK or around the world. I just need to have a bit of the manifesto of the ALG and what it actually aimed to achieve, because I'm not sure what mandate ALG have to, I'm not saying question, but to moderate or to find solution to some of the candidate, or to actually vet. I want to use the word vetting the candidate itself that have put themselves forward as the presidential candidate for Nigeria. So, I mean, what do we have? What does ALG have that give them the mandate to do that? I just want to know, please. Excuse my ignorance.
Okay.
That's my question, please.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. It will be answered and we'll respond to it. Thank you very much. Jumoke, I see you say you have a response for Pastor Inada, and we would respond to Dr. Jones. He wants to know our mandate. We'll let you know. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us. I'm sure this is your first time on the platform.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, great. We truly appreciate the fact that you have been able to join us. Have you had the opportunity of watching any of our other series at all? You know, have you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, great. Okay, so just to let you know, ALG has been around. We're a registered organization, a registered NGO. We have been around for about 2 years, and we've been pushing this group. We are a group that was born out of a desire to change the political narrative in Nigeria and to help ensure that the leadership recruitment process is spot on. What we have discovered is that the process of recruiting leaders foundationally is a problem with the country, whether from the parties or from the local government. And we thought that part of the role we can play is to ensure that the populace are aware, that people are aware of the kind of leaders they should be voting for. And we bettered this organization by Pastor Ituah, Ighodalo, and a couple of other like-minded people. You know, so we went through the process, got it registered, and we've been engaging. And if you watch our previous video, you will have seen the quality of people that have been on this program. Current presidential candidates of not the main parties. We've had state governors, we've had ministers, we've had leaders of thoughts across board in the economy, economic leaders, business gurus, people in different sphere of life have appeared on this platform. And so we really have the air at a stage. We knew the people that were watching this program, and we know what we have gone through. So we do have a very serious mandate on our hand, and we're aware of what we're doing, and we're deliberate. And trust me, the government, even the government of the day, is taking notes of what the ALG is doing. And by the way, we are not just restricting ourselves to Nigeria, as the name implies. We are Africa. So we intend to do much more beyond the borders of Nigeria. But if you also go to our website, just type in African Leadership Group, it will give you everything you need to know about the association. We have a robust website that can give you all the information that you need to know about the group. If you want to engage personally one-on-one, you can drop your email or your chat if you like to be a part of the group. We have a lot of volunteers, over close to 500 volunteers, that are members of this organization. So if you want to volunteer, I see you say you're a leadership coach, we would like to use your expertise, we would like to get your input into what you are doing, you're invited, and we'll be very glad to have you join us. So that's a brief summary of it, but we can engage much more deeper to let you know what we're doing. Jumoke, you may want to respond to what Pastor Inada said, or if Pastor has more input to make to this. Please, before they do, if you have input or questions or comments based on the leadership criteria we have shared, we would like to take it. The reason why we are socializing it on this platform before we roll it out is so that we'll have the opportunity to contribute, critique, and then we can take them on board and come up with a more workable scoring sheet for our leaders. Thank you, Jumoke. Take it from there.
Okay, so I'm not sure if Pastor has something to say, to add before I address Pastor.
You go ahead, I'll speak after you.
Okay, so thank you. And in response to Pastor Ineda, part of the plan is to have champions across the region and to partner with other civil society organizations. And that's the plan. So this is just an introduction. We also feel it's important to get buy-in from members of ALG, get comments and refine this. As I said, this is a draft document, and your comments here would help us refine it. Then the next phase is to also involve our champions, which are members of other civil society organizations, get their input, and then develop a strategy of how we're going to roll this out. I noticed that someone also said that not everyone has access to technology. True. This is where the champions come in, and working with other civil society organizations, will be able to reach their demographics and share the information with them, whether it's in paper format, whether it is in radio, whatever that medium is. The plan is to have a strategy to reach as many people in Nigeria as possible. This is a tool that we want to get in as many people's hands as possible to raise their consciousness in understanding that their vote matters, but putting a lot of thought behind that vote. Thank you.
Yeah, we need to understand that one of the challenges of Nigeria is the lack of knowledge and information for people who take critical decisions. Somebody was telling me recently that he went to somewhere in Ikire and he patronized a lady who was selling vegetables or something like that. And she was selling 200 naira worth of vegetables throughout the whole day. And she knew no knowledge of who her president was. She didn't know who her governor was. She didn't know anybody. And yet the person was going to take a critical electoral vote. And he, knowledgeable bank executive, and her, little lady in the village selling vegetables, each had one vote, one vote. And whichever way they voted, their votes will count just in one way and all that. And he was saying there was a deep need to really enlighten people and to educate them. So Pastor Neda, you know that we will work with as many well-meaning groups and focused and forward-thinking groups as possible to really, really bring this dream to come to pass and to make sure that every Nigerian is able to take an informed decision on those election days. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor. All right, I have Ambassador Nazifi Sani Ziharuna. Let's unmute you so that you can ask your question quickly before we move to the second committee to give us the update. Thank you. You are muted. You can unmute yourself to ask your question. Ambassador Sani. Unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
My contribution here is that as you are discussing a lot and I join you too late, my contribution as a youth is that Nigeria has somehow kind of leadership. We have good planning and proposal. The problem is implementation. We youth fail to understand why the problem is existing always. The problem is just one problem we are facing. It's just one. All in any kind of government, any kind of government we are having, any kind of tenure is the same problem. Lack of implementation. So that is the case. Me as a representative of APC Active Youth Forum here, this is the message I'm supposed to pass to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ambassador. I like the background of where you are. I see you are enjoying your environment and your we totally appreciate that. God bless you. Okay, I thought I saw a hand raised up before we move, so that we just clear every question and doubt on this.
There are some comments and questions on the chat box.
On the chat box. Okay, Jumoke, you want to take the comments and the questions, whatever we have?
I think that there was one important comment that was raised that as Nigerians and as citizens, I don't know that we really need an official mandate to seek for what is best or to advocate for good governance or for citizens' engagement in electoral process. So I'm just summarizing what was written. It was a lengthier comment. So that's one comment that was put in there, that we as citizens, we as Nigerians, we need to advocate for what is best for the country and how we can help inform each other on the best way forward.
Okay, great. I took time to explain to Dr. Jones because he said he has not seen, and he probably has his reason why he's asking. We'll be happy to engage with you to know why you were asking, but I did provide some background, and I hope we can take it offline, Doc. Let's not belabor it. I'll make my email and my line available so we can have a chat around that and then see how we progress. Except you want to say something else, sir. But if it's on the same issue, I don't think we should belabor it, but go ahead.
Just one thing to add to it is that when we use the phrase, the name Africa, I want us to kind of shift a little bit from just being Nigerian on this platform. So if we can have a membership executive to also try to reach out to other African countries so that it will reflect exactly what we say we are. That is African Leadership Group, so that it will include other African countries as well, not just Nigerian dominating the whole. I know we're the most populous country in Africa, no doubt about that. But I'm just saying, if we have to reflect exactly what we're saying we are, we should try and reach out to other African countries as well.
Thank you. Well noted. We are doing that. However, let me just explain that this particular program you are on is what we call the Nigerian Leadership Series, which is a subset of the African Leadership Group. So we are doing this under the auspices of the Nigerian Leadership Series, the NLS. But like I said, we'll engage privately and you'll know how we work better. But we really appreciate your concern and your wanting to add more value to what we are doing. We'll be happy to engage with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. We will be moving to the next presentation if Temitope is ready, so that we can take that quickly. Maybe today we'll be rounding up rather early. Temitope, can you raise your hand so that we can unmute you? All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Please, can I have permission to share my screen as well?
Okay, Olu, make her a co-host so that she can have a right to share. All right, there you are. You have the right to do that now.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Temitope. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'll start sharing my screen shortly. Okay, so I'm going to be talking briefly about the African Leadership Group CSC draft. We're going to be seeing shortly what the CSC means. It's one of the subcommittees under the African Leadership Group. And we'll be discussing briefly under introduction, the main aim, the work, how you can help, a summary and appreciation. It's not going to be very long. Okay, so the CSC draft is a proposed document for political and non-political office holders with the aim of accountability and transparency. The document described above is formulated by the 7-man CSC draft committee in conjunction with the target population being the electorate, whose views are being noted via an online poll. The main aim, the CSC means Citizens' Social Contract, and it is a document consisting of enumerated expectations for office holders, that's my mistake, within designated timelines and to be signed by the office holder. That's our expectation after liaising with them. The work started about 3 weeks ago with 5 people and 2 added in to give support. Presently, we are trying to get access to current manifestos. Not all the political office holders have manifestos, but we are trying to work with what we have. We have a community poll that has gone out, but we need more motivation to push that forward. We're trying to address target areas we have about 7. They cover different areas, health. They will not apply to everybody, but we're going to try and see how we can apply it to everybody. So there's going to be one regarding the presidency, one for the governors, one for the House of Representatives, the Senate as well. We are going to try and put them within realistic timelines. There's going to be a final document, after which there's going to be liaising with the office holders, and subsequently, hopefully, there's going to be some evaluation. Sorry. Okay. So how you can help. Everyone can help in some way. As you can help, one, as a member of a committee in the African Leadership Group. There are many committees, which you might hear later on. There's strategy, there's infrastructure, there's health. There are different committees in the African Leadership Group. And you can suggest to us any major areas that should be part of the consideration, but it's very likely that we are considering them already. We have those pictures there just to show that we are trying to cut across board. You could be a professional, you could be an artisan, whichever sphere you are, there's space for you to help us in some way. And you can definitely help by filling the online form and sharing it in your groups. So this is the part of the form which is about the most important, and it is, what is the most important thing for you that you expect from your government? And we've put government because that's what most people understand government as, but we're actually targeting it towards office holders. And we've put power, clean water, unemployment or employment, accessible healthcare, agricultural support, security, good roads, access to phone lines or internet, education. What would be the most important for you? And if you had to choose 5 from the list, what would they be? And that is the most important part of the form, apart from asking whether you want to be contacted by email or text. So the best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. And that goes to all of us. Beautiful quote by Walt Disney. And Nigeria, a beautiful country of so many people, 200 million and counting, and lots of vast resources, mainly untapped. So we have a huge part to play here. So in summary, the responsibility of rebuilding Nigeria belongs to all of us. Let us play our part in making her great again. Kindly help us as we get the citizens' social contract ready. Thank you very much. And I'm hoping one of the members can please post the link on the chat box so that everybody here can please fill the form. It's a very short form. We can easily do it in 2 minutes. Let us all do our part to keep the flag flying high. Thank you so much. I would like to appreciate the team members, Mr. Ayodeji Oyinloye, Chinedum Akiti, Mr. Funshaw Ashcroft, Mr. Walter Amugo, Mr. Oluvictor Oyinloye, Mr. Zion, Ame, and myself. Until the future manifests, let's keep executing. And that is the website. I just want us to note that it is the Africa Leadership Group, in case you're looking for it on the internet. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much, Temitope. We truly appreciate that. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful presentation. Please, this will be open up for discussion. Really, what we're trying to do, let me just add a bit more to that, Temitope, if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Thank you very much.
You kept referring to them as office holders. Even before they become office holders, we are looking at the candidates. What we have these days is a lot of candidates make promises. People make promises on their behalf, say things. At the end of the day, they have no clue what they have said. They have no remembrance. They have no recollection once they get into office. So they believe that to win election, you just have to say whatever the people want to hear. And so part of what we're doing in the African Leadership Group and what this committee has worked on is that we intend to have a citizens' social contract with our candidates, even before they get into office. So when they say they want to build hospitals, we want to sit down with them and say, how many hospitals? Thank God we have a lot of time now. We want to be able to invite these candidates to as many town hall, group meetings, association meetings, whether it's an association of vulcanizers, association of doctors, association of welders, association of lawyers. Invite them and say, this is the challenge this association is facing. What are you going to be able to do for us when you get into government? We're not talking as that will benefit us. When they say it, we record it, we get them to sign this citizen social contract and put timelines that this execution will take place and then how they can be accessible. We can't get it all, but we got to do something. We got to make sure that they know that somebody is watching and somebody will be tracking. And when they begin to sign, in our view, such documents, they will become more cautious. Somebody will say, how are we going to get them to do that? Politicians, we are dealing with everybody and we are working on it. We're inviting everybody. We're going to reach out to them and we're going to get them to do that. So what the committee is really, really doing is very crucial to the upcoming election. And we're going to do it for the various stratas. Whether you are contesting for assembly election, we want to know what bills you would support. So there are bills that are dear to our heart. We want to sit down with them and say, this is the bill that we are looking at. Are you ready to sponsor or support this bill? If you are, we get you to sign a social contract with the group, all right? We call it social because we probably have no power of enforcement over it, but it is something that we intend to put on our website, and there will be a dashboard tracking all of this. People can go there and see it, what promises have been made and signed, and then we'll track it through the life of the administration, and we'll be reporting on it. And we intend to, by this, hold them, keep them on their toes, and make sure they are accountable and responsible for what they have said they will do. We don't just want people to come and say, I will build roads, I would do education. No. How? By when? Write it, sign it, we'll post it on our website. We can give the committee, we can give the candidate a copy, keep it, have a liaison that will be looking at it, because we are going to be holding you responsible for all of this. Now, these are all things that we have thought deeply about. A lot of thought has gone into this, and we do believe that we will achieve some traction with this kind of thing. However, we are socializing with everyone here. If you have comments, if you have addition, if you'd like to be part of the committee so that your input can be taken, please indicate so, and we'll recognize you and put you in those committees. I leave it here for now and allow anyone that has comment, questions on this to do so.
But this is a social contract. What level of offices are you focusing on? Is it every single office, or is it offices of a certain level?
So, Pastor, presidency is key, but we are also looking at governors. So for presidency, we have one standard yardstick for them, because Nigeria is one. But for the governors, it will be state by state. And we are also looking at people who are interested in their state. For example, if you are from Akwa Ibom and you say, look, I love this and I would like us to have a citizen social contract with Akwa Ibom State for the candidates that are contesting there, we would work specifically for that state. We might not be able to do the whole 36 states, but if we have enough volunteers from the various states, then we are ready to work with them for their states to hold the candidates accountable, especially, well, we know the ones that are promising. So if we don't want to dissipate too much energy, we will say in your states, maybe there are 4 candidates that are promising, and we want to get them to be able to give us what they will do. Ditto for House of Assembly and Senate for the certain areas.
So are you going to give each officer a standard template that they should respond to? I know that we're going to make it flexible on the state-by-state basis and all that. Yes. And all that. Yeah. Okay. So, of course, it can't be compulsory. It's up to the candidate to decide whether he wants to give this contract or the other. How do you then present to the populace or to the voting public the advantage the candidate gets by signing this contract with the ALG? How do you make it worth the candidate's while?
Excellent, Pastor. Very, very excellent. Because a candidate that submits himself to this has shown transparency, openness, and willingness to be held accountable. A man that cannot append his signature to his promise, how then can we hold you accountable? All we are asking is simple. You have promised this, and we are saying, okay, append your signature to this. So what we are then saying to the people is, look, judge for yourself who you want to trust. A man that have said, I will do this, and he has signed with his blood, is there in black and white for everybody to see. We have put it on our website. He has said how he will do it, by what time he will do it. And a man that has just left it blank and said, wait until I get there. The choice is yours. I think it's a matter of credibility. So I trust that the electorate would know what to do, wisely. So really, there's no compulsion, like we say, but the advantage is you are saying you will do something and you are backing it up by signing what this very credible group, I dare say, African Leadership Group, calls Citizen Social Contract. Enter this contract with us and we will show the public that you have signed up to this, and that if you get into office, these are the times you will do this. And we will track it also. We intend to track it, by when they say they will do it. Okay.
Okay. Any other person has any other questions or clarification?
Yeah, Femi Olowe, unmute him. Then we'll have Bolahon, Oduton, and then Ade Alabi. That three in succession. Femi, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the platform. First, I want to commend the organizers and the leadership of the group. You have done a lot of good work. Honestly, kudos to you. Having said that, I will start from your last statement, which is the social contract that we intend the aspirants or the winners of elections to sign. I actually see ALG as a group that's in no time, without doubt in my mind, would even surpass the report and how people see the report of Amnesty International. So ALG today is starting small, or I started small about 2 years ago, but I believe in the future we'll have a lot to record and report about it. Now, having also said this, I just want to suggest that the groups that we currently have, in which their leaders, the two female leaders just spoke, I want them to add one, the means by which all this good work can be communicated in form of sensitization to the populace, one. And the second thing is that we need to find a way to ensure that even in all the programs that will be rolling out, for example, the debates and getting the aspirants to make promises and be accountable, we need to ensure that we do not accept generic promises. We will do road. We need someone who knows the nitty-gritties, who understands and can give us specifics. That, for example, the road between somewhere in Edo and somewhere in Kogi, if we link it and make it so and so, this is the economic benefit. We need people who have those numbers, not people that will be so generic and tell us, we will do the road, we will construct dam, we will do this, without knowing the economic values that they will render to us. That is secondly. And then the third point is that we need to ensure that those who are coming out, the aspirants, when we organize the bid for them, because I'm sure ALG is going to still organize the bid for them, we need to ensure that we are not partisan in any way. And that we also had new criteria. I put it on the platform. There's a model called OPM, which is Organizational Performance Model, which can be used. So we need to start by saying, what are the problems that we have? We gap analyze the problems, and then we start affixing solutions to these problems without knowing where we are, compare it without knowing what we should be, and knowing where we are, compare the two. We cannot pick out what the issues are, and we cannot get the solutions to them. So I want the group to imbibe this model in projecting what the solutions that will be for the country, and in selecting the right leaders for us. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Femi Olowe. We truly appreciate it. Let's go on to Bolahan. Is Bolahan there? Your hand is no longer up, so we can't see you. Maybe Ade Alabi.
I'm here.
Okay, Bolahan, go ahead.
It's just taking time to get me unmuted. Okay, thank you very much to the organizers of this wonderful platform. I want to stand on existing protocol. I appreciate the effort that we have put into this. It's actually my first time of attending this meeting. And I'm happy that as Nigerians, this meeting is more or less dedicated to talking about Nigeria. I just want to quickly share my views on some of the things that I've seen us put together. First and foremost, I want us to quickly also remember that our political system is designed in such a way that no matter how good a candidate may be or an individual may be, if you don't have the right political party, it may be difficult becoming either a candidate or even running an office. So I think we should delve more about taking a grip of the political parties rather than the candidates alone, because if a candidate or an aspirant signs a document with ALG and gets into office, there is every tendency of coming back to tell us that, oh, that document I signed, all those projects negate the policies of my political party. And that's why I could not implement some of those things. So I think that we need to have more education in terms of political parties. Secondly, for us to have an effective change in whatever system we have right now, I think ALG should look beyond individuals or candidates and see what we can do collectively. The previous ambassador that spoke made mention of the fact that, yes, we have policies, we have good policies, but implementation is always the problem. And that has been our challenge from time immemorial. And why has it been so? Because these policies end up in the hands of politicians who don't even have an understanding of where the policy came from. They are not part of it. There's a total disconnect. So I think ALG as a body should also step up the game and see the chances or possibilities of metamorphosing into a political party, so that when we have people that are part of these, that understands all these initiatives, you don't even need to compel anybody to sign a document before they do what is right. That will be my contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bolahan. Well noted. We truly appreciate you, and we hope that this will not be your last time. We hold this every Thursday by 5 o'clock. We invite you to join us every Thursday. Tell others, invite them also. Appreciate it. Ade Alabi, go ahead.
Yeah. Once again, I want to appreciate everyone. Ade Alabi is my name. Yeah. I also want to suggest that the full and public declarations of asset before elections should be made as part of our criteria. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll see to that. I think there's something in the Constitution that requires you to do so after winning election before being sworn in. So again, it could be part of the questions that we could ask the candidates. Well, are you willing and ready to declare your assets upon winning this election, full and public? They would sign that document for us, should they be willing. So thank you very much for that suggestion.
Sorry, Pastor Sonny. Pastor
Yes.
Sonny, sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there going to be debate? Is ALG looking considering debate among all the emerging candidates?
It's something we are looking at, yes.
Okay. Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you. Umaru, unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. And this is my first time joining the ALD platform to listen to them. And honestly, I'm very, very, very happy to hear what everybody is saying. But my biggest problem, just like this one of the person that just called in a few minutes ago, the way Nigerian politics is set up, the complicity is so difficult to crack in there. You can have good candidates that will sign those documents, but to get them in there, they will just twist things around, and that candidate would end up not being allowed to even run. You hear this one will say, well, I've been in the party for this length of time, it's my turn. Just like, see what is going on with the presidential election. You hear that saying, oh, Baba has been around for a while, it's his term, he gave it to Buhari, now it's his turn. They're not even looking at whether he can run the country, whether he's capable of running the country. And all what the people are saying, another big problem is the electorate. The mothers, like they mentioned a woman who was selling vegetables. She doesn't even know the president, the name of the president, the name of the governor. Most of them don't know. And that's why the politicians, they take advantage. When it's election time, they buy rice, they put their name, they put all this, they carry it, they go to them, they give this woman. You hear this one say, just let me take my bag of gari jari. Whether it's what, that day they go and vote. Whatever it is, they vote. They don't even know whether they're voting for what they vote, and they go back and they keep on suffering. You can go talk to people on the street in Lagos. They're suffering, but they will be all of them will be telling you there's nobody except Osubajo Tenibu. That's what they will be telling you. But they're suffering. They're there with their children. They're not going to school. But they'll be telling you that. So the AIG, they've done a good job. But my biggest problem is, how do we try to educate the electorate back home on ground, to rural areas, villages, all these places?
Okay, thank you very much, Umaru. Very, very genuine concern you have noted. We'll keep working. We cannot give up on this country. We have to keep advocating. You have come here now, you have heard what we are doing. You can choose to join us and be part of the foot soldiers that will take this even to your own little hamlet. Even if it's your family, if it's your little corner, you can take this message to that place. We can't do it all, but we're trying. We intend to translate most of the things we are talking about into the major languages in Nigeria. And like you heard, one of the presenters said, we need partners that we are working with. So it's a lot of work, but we are not unaware of the challenges that you have just mentioned. But we believe that they are not insurmountable, and we will push and we will surmount them. We need everybody to be on board, everybody to be part of what we are doing, and then we'll be able to push this to the highest, to the lowest part of our villages all over this country. Because indeed, you are right. It's not about those of us on the platform or on social media. It's about the real people down there who do not have access to all these niceties that we have. So we intend to push it so that we'll be able to take everybody. It's already 6:30. I have Gladys.
No, Florence was next, Pastor Sonny. So Florence had her hand up for a while.
Okay, Florence, then Gladys. Please make your comments quickly and brief so that we can take as many more people as possible. Thank you, Florence. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, organizers of this meeting. I appreciate you. My question is this. So we or does the ALG have any part to play in this coming election? And if so, how are we going to go about it? My second question is this. I heard you talk about the CFC, Unit 1, that I want to say, or I want to ask, if the candidate elect or the president or something, he comes in there, we ask him and he signs this document, and on getting in there, he is not able to carry out his promises to us. What do we do about it? How are we going to go about it? Is there any protocol taken to, can we ask him to resign? Is it in our power? This is my question, or these are my questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Florence. The questions I germane I have noted down. Whether we intend to play any active part in 2023 election, the answer is yes. And we need volunteers. Please, as many people as will sign up, wherever you are, especially if you're in Nigeria, across the length and breadth of this country, we intend to play a very active part. So we'll be recruiting volunteers based on your locations. We'll very play. And the social contract, I've answered that question before. It's just a social contract. But however, we'll play it up. It just shows, it plays to the integrity of the man in power. So if you don't do what you say you are going to do by the time you will do it, we are going to keep hounding you and we'll keep pointing it out. Now, if you intend to go for a second term or you intend to do some other thing, it's going to come back and haunt you. The social contract have no legal binding force on anybody, but it's just a social contract. We will see. We'll speak to lawyers and see if there's a way we can make it more effective. But for now, that's all I can say to that. Thank you for your questions. Gladys. Unmute, Gladys.
Okay. Yes. Good evening. I've just been unmuted. Yeah, my name is Gladys Adeleye. I really want to thank the organizers of this group. I've never heard of it before. In fact, I just ran into a link shared on my one of my platforms, and I just popped on the Zoom call. And what I've heard so far is just making me to bubble on the inside. I'm very, very excited. It's positive and upward looking. So thanks a million. I've already shared the link with a friend as well, and I'm going to share with as many people as I know who are passionate about our country. I live in England and I'm a teacher, but my heart has always been for my country. Everybody that knows me, I try to go home like twice a year. I support young people in school. I'm very, very heavy on education, and I work with a number of schools to just make sure that Nigerian students are getting what they should get. So this movement is absolutely amazing. One of the first things I want to refer to, I think one of the pastors that asked the question about if we get the political aspirants to sign, what is the benefit to them? In my own understanding, if they append their signature to that contract, that social contract as it is, and we now share it on our platform and people are aware, I think their own individual benefits will be, it would rake in more votes for them. It's a possibility that it shows people that they are more trustworthy. That is what people who want to be voted for, they want to show their trustworthiness, so that they can get more votes. That will be the benefit. And then to us, making them to sign this contract, like the moderator said, we'll speak with lawyers, we'll speak to law enforcement agencies, and we'll see how we'll be able to enforce those who derail in the future. But getting someone to sign in the first instance and they agree is a show that they actually want to do what people have requested of them when they get into office. We can only hope in these things and pray that they would actually live up to that expectation. But we have to start from somewhere. And if you look at all the revolutions in the world and people that brought about change here, it was not people who just sat down silently in their corners moaning about what has been. It's people who were, Rosa Parks did not sit down because she has seen someone sat down before. Neither did Martin Luther King and all these people that brought about changes in their world. And I hate when people keep saying the Nigerian situation is different. I call it unique. So if it is unique, we must continue to seek out ways to make sure these changes happen. So I'm very delighted. I will be on board, and as much as is possible for us to help, we'll be helping. I know I'm in England, but I can assure you, I have been able to convince over 50 people to go get their PVCs. And, these are people that I help in one way or the other, and they have listened to me. They have gone to get their PVCs, and they are ready to vote. So we can continue to have our influence from even wherever we are, whether we are on ground physically at home or we are here in the diaspora, and God will continue to help us. I believe in this that I've heard tonight, and I know that good will come out of it. Thank you to the organizers.
Thank you very much, Gladys. We truly appreciate your comment. Thank you. I will respond. Gladys, please sign up to be part of the volunteers. I would like to engage more with you or the group. Our coordinator will get in touch. If you drop your email link, maybe directly to ALG team co-hosts, we will contact you. Oluwaseun, you can unmute yourself and make your comment and your contribution. Please, let's restrict it. I have about 5 more people to take before we close. So I have Oluwaseun, Dr. Molola, I have Bolahon Olojode, Joseph Itse, before we close. So please make your comment brief, straight to the point. I appreciate you. Oluwaseun, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma. I appreciate this book. Actually, this is my first time of joining.
Wow. The network is truly not very clear.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, a bit.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Oluwaseun, we can hear you.
Okay, you can. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I said, Mrs. Grady, I've already said most of my points, but the remaining contribution is that we also, by telling people about this group and educating people starts with us, right? So we can share this link with everybody, and yeah, that's the way the group will get known to everybody. Yeah, I would also like to be a volunteer. So I'm actually in Canada, so I would like to be a volunteer.
Thank you very much. Please just put your email directly to any of the hosts on this, and or if you go to our group, to our WhatsApp group, to our website, africanleadershipgroup.org, there is a place there for you to join. And once you put in your details, we'll get in touch with you. We truly appreciate you. Dr. Omolola Omotosho, unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. God bless you for this wonderful initiative. One thing about God is that he always inspires his ideas and many at the same time, and it depends on us to run with it. 9 years ago, I began a similar movement to what you're doing right now under the name of Solidarity Action Network. We got the verbal approval of a candidate and worked locally and globally to rake in votes, not only for our principal, but for a state governor as well. We contributed strategic ideas, drafted working soldiers, people who worked as foot soldiers, produced souvenirs at our own cost. We did a lot. But the first part of the agreement, which was a meeting with our group and that we will serve as think tank for the government, was not fulfilled. No part of the agreement was fulfilled, despite the pedigree of the candidates. So I won't be putting my money on it that these people will get in and fulfill whatever promise they've made to us. But my own concern is where it concerns widows and orphans. I don't see any manifesto at present that is really talking about taking care of widows or reforming the probate laws. Because what we have in Nigeria currently is that even though you have a marriage certificate, it amounts to nothing once your husband passes away. And there is a link between stealing from widows and this terrorism and this kidnapping. Because if a woman is not able to take care of herself, then she's going to let her children go on the streets. And where they are on the streets, they are at the mercy of those who may want to recruit them for this and that. So I'm asking you, the candidate you would be supporting or we would be supporting or expected to support, will this person also have plans for the downtrodden, have plans, especially for widows? Nigeria is how many years old now? We've been fighting this war again and again, and widows keep dying. Widows are still forced to drink water from their husband's cups. When they wash the cups, they ask widows to drink. We still go through all this. I haven't seen any single candidate that is talking about things that really matter, things that would change a lot of the heals that is going on in Nigeria, because we have to go back to the roots of this problem. Why are students on the streets? Why are there strikes? Why are this and that? So that would be my own contribution. I'm actually speaking from the US at the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Molola. Today, we are having a lot of people from the diaspora, and we're indeed very glad that you are all linking up and making your contributions. Please, again, we would like to get the benefit of some of the experience you've had in the past. So if you go to our website and join, we would engage you, and then we would like to share some of your experiences so that we'll know not to make the same errors or mistakes or what we can learn from it. Thank you very much for contributing. Bolahan Olojade. Let me unmute you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, Bolahan.
Yeah, good to be on this platform again. Just a couple of quick ones. Number one is on the template that was presented by I think Dr. Jumoke, at the beginning of the program. We have to be careful about putting in things that might not be measurable. I heard one of the contributors, for example, who was passionate about the issues of healthcare, and he wanted us to be able to put in how someone whose family has been going abroad for healthcare. The question is, how do you begin to measure that? We don't have their health history. We don't know the health history of the family. We don't know why anybody went abroad for healthcare. Those are difficult and tricky things to do. Education was another thing. I studied abroad for some years. Well, my father had no dime in how I studied. In fact, he was even dead, so he couldn't even have had. So if he was contesting for a position, would it have been fair to say he shouldn't contest because an adult child made a decision to go abroad? So these are some of those things that I think we have to be careful. If we think they will be too difficult for us to measure, even subjectively, we shouldn't bother about them. That's my take on some of the issues.
Okay, thank you. Well noted. We will try to look at things that are measurable, but your comments are well noted. We truly appreciate that. And Joseph Itse. Thank you for keeping your comments short and straight to the point.
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes, how are you, sir?
We're very fine.
Yes, thank you, and good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. Sorry I came in late because I was having other assignments. I concur with most of the comments of members. I'm calling from Jos, actually. I joined from Jos, and if you look at the category of people that join, very few people, if none. If I'm not mistaken, I'm the only one from Jos. I want to call on the organizers to, you talked about every Thursday. How do we get the link so that we can disseminate to people around here so that people will join and also they will become volunteers? I am ready. I want to become a part of the team. I concur with most of the issues, and I'm sure as time goes on, we are going to discuss how to really key and tie in these politicians. It's not only politicians, especially even the politicians, the political parties, and the government, because what is key and important in election is sensitization and carrying the electorates along. Because most of the electors don't know what it entails to vote a candidate or to vote for a party. Some just go, as we said, for the rice, chicken, or this other issue. But if you sensitize them on the manifestos of the parties, the views of the candidate, what he wants to do, then they might decide to be swayed, apart from collecting just few things to be able to vote for a candidate. So I will be happy to champion that issues from this part of the country. In Jos, I see my seniors, palms there, the two palms. I'm sure we'll join hands together and we'll make it go viral in this part of the country, which will help the body to move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joseph. We truly appreciate your contribution and what you have said. We will definitely get in touch. Again, I will advise that you go to our website, sign up to join the group. Your details will be taken and we can engage you. But even beyond that, you can drop your email to any of the hosts here and we will contact you directly. Zara Mangoro, Mangoro. Sorry, I hope I got the name correctly. Zara. Or is it Zira?
Unmute.
Yeah, unmute yourself, yeah.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah. This is a first timer. And actually, I joined in from Kano. I reside here partly in Kano, and I do go to most of the northwestern states. What I want us to really consider, it is one of the critical things that most of these politicians use in Nigeria against the masses. That is the usage of religion. So I'm of the opinion that even as the group expands, to get involved some of the religious leaders of the same that have the buy-in, so that they can really talk to the followers, because up here north, it is one malam will just stand up and say and paint it, paint religion with it, and before you know it, the multitudes, hundreds of thousands of people, they will say so person have said it, and this is our major problem in country. So I'm of the opinion that even while we consider that one, but to consider religious integration, that is by having key from both the Christians and the Islamic local clerics to be part of it, especially once they have the buy-in and we're on the same page. This is just what I want to contribute, and I think it is key for the success of a credible election for who will come and make our country great. Thank you, and over.
Thank you, Zira. Really, really, thank you. Please join, be part of the movement, and we would be happy to engage with you and see what you can do. Please sign up. Our website is there. If you also like to reach to any of the hosts personally, you can drop your number and we'll get in touch with you. Bumi Akomolade.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much. This is my first time on this platform. I only got to do about it just like 30 minutes after you actually started today. Okay, talking in Houston, Texas at the moment, and I noticed that most of the people who called in earlier today, they are also out of the country. Now, this is one of the problems we have, because the people who actually would sway the votes, most of them are not even educated. That's number one to start with. And the educated people, the elites, a lot of people may not even come out to vote. That's what's been the trend. That's been the trend in past elections, because I normally go back to Nigeria and ensure that I vote. I made sure that I voted every time we had elections. And you find out that a lot of people don't even come out to vote. They don't even have PVCs. But I want to believe that in this dispensation, that will change. But I just want to quickly say, I think at this point, okay, well, I want to commend ALG for what you're doing, and I'd love to be part of ALG. But at this point, I think it's very important to hit the ground running. As in the 7-point plan that was earlier, featured, I think if that can be broken down into very easy to understand language that the people, everybody at the grassroots level will understand what is being said, so that this can be, played on television as jingles, adverts, very short adverts, jingles, and let people know that these are the things you all need to look out for in making your decisions. And that needs to go on the local television stations, local radio stations, so that the farmers, the market women, these are the people who really need to hear these things. Because most of the people on social media, they are just on social media. So the grassroots need to hear this. The 7-point plan, if that can be broken down into easy to understand, like slides or, things that can be put on television and made available to everybody, made available on radio, I think that would be the first thing to do. While waiting for things to crystallize properly, this can be implemented immediately. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We're indeed enamored by the number of diaspora participants today. Although we have quite a number of them, but today is really, really phenomenal, because we've had people calling from all over the world, and we truly appreciate you all. Please, again, I say join, go to our website, join, put in your details, and we'll get in touch with you. Truly appreciate you, Bumi Akomolade. God bless you. Temitope Ayedogun, please unmute yourself and go straight to the point. Yeah.
Hello, thank you very much, Pastor Sonny, and thank you to everybody for all the contributions. I'm very grateful for those that have also contributed about the CSC draft form. Please kindly fill the form. If we can post it again, that would be great. The questions I wanted to ask, one was regarding the form. I think someone brought it up earlier, and that was about the issue of marital status. I saw that a single person had 1 point, a divorced person had 2 points, a widowed or a married person had 4 points. So I wasn't sure about how the scoring came about or why. That was one question. The other question relates to Mr. Akomolade's last suggestion, and that's about whether there is a purse that people can contribute to, because things like jingles on radio or television do cost money. So if we are going to have jingles all over the country on all radio stations, it is going to cost some fund unless we are directly working with the radio station or we own it. That's the second thing. I'm trying to remember the third thing. I think that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tope. I would answer the final question, but let me just say, Ulu, please, for the fundraising. Okay, Pastor wants to say something.
No, go ahead, Sonny. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think for there's a committee on fundraising. We have accounts, and we'll speak a bit to that. I think we'll take the last comment for tonight from Basirat Shonekon. That will be the very last comment, and then Pastor will wrap up this entire conversation. Basirat, unmute yourself and make your comment or your contribution.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to say something. I really just want to say thank you. Thank you for putting this together. It's actually very hopeful for a lot of us that are abroad that still have the love for our home and willing to go home and contribute our own portion. So just want to say thank you for all the organizers. We are very grateful for this platform. Thanks, bye.
Thank you very much for appreciating us. We did really, truly appreciate everyone. Pastor, over to you for your final comment and close out.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Thank you for so skillfully conducting this particular series. And we see that I think we have gotten through to the people to some extent, and the desire that we choose the right kind of leader. As I said, the horse maybe have left the stable a little bit, but I still think that out of this 15, if we use the criteria that we have put in, we will probably still get the best of the lot. And if we can get the best of the lot, then we would have made considerable progress in 2023. And most of what ALG and the Nigerian Leadership Series was set up to achieve would have been largely achieved. The fact that we're even able to inform people and get people even from the diaspora to be part of it is very, very exciting to me. And we're looking forward to things truly changing. We have put on the chart the account details of the company. It's called the Tri-Africa Empowerment Foundation. The Tri-Africa Empowerment Foundation. Olu, you didn't tell us which bank account this is. I suspect it's either Zenith or GTB. You may tell us, but all it has here is old account. GTB. Okay, GTB Bank. So donations are open. We have to do a lot of work, especially in terms of trying to inform people, educate people, enlighten people. We have a whole advert campaign coming up very soon. We also have this leadership assessment series that we're talking about also coming up. We need as much resources as we can. We want to thank a few people who have already donated and contributed. We want to encourage them to keep at it and so on and so forth, so that at least we would have all played our part at trying to make Nigeria great again. And indeed, we believe that Nigeria can be great again. And if we can only get it right in terms of leadership, we can only get it right in terms of leadership, it will solve a majority of the problems that we have. It will educate the electorate, it will inform them, it will enlarge their cause, it will encourage them, and it will make Nigeria a truly blessed nation. So let me thank again the people who have been on the platform. It is because of you that we're here. It is because of you that we exist. We encourage us, and we want to encourage you to invite as many people as you can to the meetings. So when you get the notice of the meeting, I want you to please repeat it and spread it to as many people as you can, so that we can get more people on board. Then the second thing, of course, is that the meeting takes place every Thursday at 5 o'clock. Every Thursday at 5 o'clock on the same platform. Every Thursday at 5 o'clock on the same platform. So even if you don't get the notice of the meeting, some people sometimes wait for the notice of the meeting. Even if you don't get the notice of the meeting, if you go to the platform, you will find us there. You will find us there, and then you can join and you can spread the word also. And then, of course, please volunteer for something. Volunteer for something. Volunteer to be part of something. Just don't sit on the sides. A lot of people are doing a lot of phenomenal work, putting all these things together. Let me also thank all the committee members, those who head them, those who coordinate them, and those who volunteer to join those committees. The Lord will bless you. The Lord will strengthen you. Our labor will not be in vain, and Nigeria will be truly great again. Thank you. Let me also especially thank Olu at the back office every Friday, every Thursday, no matter where in the world he is, he has this assignment to set up this ALG platform. So Olu, I thank you very much. Sonny, Jumoke, God bless you all, and everybody else who have volunteered to be on the platform. God bless you. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and a wonderful weekend ahead.
Thank you, Pastor. God bless.
Of course, Bambo, thank you very much. It was great to see you last week. Thank you, Jumoke. God bless you.
God bless
Bambo,
you. Have a
the
good day.
great.
Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
bye-bye. Afolabi, thank you for coming.
Thank you
God
all.
bless you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Alaba
Pastor.
Mario.